Dear students, today we are going to discuss about the three-tier application architecture. Okay, so that we are going to see now. Already you people may be having idea about the different types of architectures. You have studied two-tier architecture and client-server architecture is example for two-tier architecture. Okay, and distributed architecture and so on. So now we are going to see three-tier application architecture. Practically, this is the thing used in many applications. So the components of data intensive systems are three separate types of functionality are what are the main three functionality are data management is required. When we are doing a new operation, data management is main operation, then application logic, what is the application logic should be used, and presentation, how it will be presented. So data management, application logic and presentation is a main functionality of the any data intensive systems. So the system architecture determines whether these three components reside in a single system or that is single tier, or it is distributed across several tiers. Okay, so that is the difference between one architecture to another architecture. So first we will see the single tier and client server architecture. So single tier means from name itself it is there, all functionalities are combined into a single tier. So the mainframe we are going to take everything, suppose our personal computers, mainframe computers we are going to take, all should be covered, all functionality that already we have seen, no, data management, application logic, presentation, everything should be combined into a single tier. Okay, that is, so then next initially data intensive applications were combined into a single tier, including what are the things, DBMS, application logic, user interface. Okay, so this is illustrated in the figure. So see here, that is a single tier architecture, everything DBMS, application logic, client, all those things are in a single system, single tier. So the application typically ran on a mainframe. The users accessed it through the dumb terminals that could perform only data input and display. That is okay. Has the benefit of being easily maintained by a central administrator, because everything is in a single tier, no? So the maintenance is very easy. So this architecture. Next is single. What is the advantages? Easy maintenance and administration is easy because all three logics are in a same tier. Okay, data management, application logic, and as well as presentation, everything. Disadvantages: today users expect graphical user interface, that is not graphical user interface is not there, and centralized computation of all of them is too much of a central system. It's a too much a burden for central systems. That is a drawback of single tier or client server architecture. So the two-tier architecture, now we know that client-server architecture, already you may be studied in networks also. So two-tier architecture is also often referred to as client-server architecture, consists of client computer and the server computer. From name itself, it is a client computer and server computer which interact through a well-defined through protocol. It is going to interact server and client. So what part of the functionality the client complements, then what part is left out to the server can vary. That depends on that thing. What are the operations should be performed by server, what are the operations should be performed in the client, that depends, is going to vary. In the traditional client server architecture, the client implements just as client, what are the things we will take, we are going to use GUI, graphical user interface, and the server implements both the business logic and data management should be taken care by the server, because whenever the client wants through the user interface, client is going to get the data from the request the data from the server. So the data maintenance and business logic is main operation of a server, and then graphical user interface is the main thing in the main implementation in the client. Okay, so the client also, we are having the thin client and thick client. In the client server architecture, what the client is used is called as a thin client. So this is the application logic, this is a server. So we are having client and through network, this protocol, this is going to interact. So the three-tier architecture. Now we are going to see the three-tier architecture. So here we are having that thin client. Two-tier architecture essentially separate. Presentation is used from the rest of the application. Presentation from the application logic goes all together further the data management and application logic into one step. So here we are having the three tiers, that is presentation tier, middle tier and data management tier. Okay, the presentation tier, user requires a natural interface to make request. Natural interface is required. So that is natural interface also one of the graphical user interface. So to provide the input and to receive results and so on. Suppose we will want to access some data from the internet, we need our own interface. Okay. So internet has web-based interface increasingly popular. Web-based interface we are using Google. Whatever we want we are using. Whether we are typing the data or we are using voice input and so on. That is our wish. Middle tier. So that is the application logic executes here. So that is a complex business process and coded in purpose of programming languages with C or C++ or Java. For application logic these things should be used. So data management, we know some web applications involve DBMS. DBMS, maybe any DBMS should be used, SQL Server or Oracle used to for the data management, used in the data management tier. Okay, so we'll see that architecture. So here we are having the DBMS. Okay, the DBMS database management system, and that will be linked with application logic through network. And the next is client side. They are having that there is a network. Through network it will be linked. So there are three layers here, three tiers. So this is a general thing all you know. We know that web we are using client program or browsers with the web, and application server HTTP used. Application server we know that JSP servlets should be used, and then data storage we know database management Excel, XML or stored procedure concepts should be used. And then advantages. We know that the different advantages. One is heterogeneous systems. It is possible. No need all the systems should be in the same homogeneous. It's a heterogeneous systems. Then clients used here is thin client, like web browsers are the example for thin client, and integrated data access that is possible through the different three tiers. So these are the main advantages of three-tier architecture. Along with the two more, one advantage scalability to many clients. So any number of clients in future we want, we can add it with that. Okay, that is the main advantages of this three-tier architecture. And another important thing is the three-tier architecture advantages. This we know, the DBMS, then application logic and client, whatever we want we can access. So in three-tier architecture. So the next is software development benefits. So by dividing the application cleanly into parts, the address presentation, data access, business logic, we gain many advantages. Many advantages are possible because of the three tiers. Debugging is easy, maintenance is easy, and change, if any changes we want to do it, that is also possible. The testing or reusable components, reusability, everything is possible with three-tier architecture. So that's the reason three-tier architecture is having more advantages compared to two-tier and single-tier architecture. Okay, so that's all about three-tier architecture. Along with that, we are having that middle layer and present layer functions. We'll see in the later class.